Last week, there was an expose that was done about, the loss of life that happened during the protests in June 2024. And as we come into that conversation, our last conversation for this hour is right around blood parliament and the pain of the victims. Josinter Anyango is the mother of Kennedy Onyango. Kennedy was shot dead during the anti-finance bill demos in 2024. We're also going to be talking with Sevelinah Mwihaki, who is the former street urchin fighting for the rights of street families. Joining Josinter Anyango this morning is her husband, and his name is Michael Odiero, who is also a father to Kevin. We want to welcome all three of you to the Situation Room this morning. Karibuni sana.
Asante.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're going to welcome you to today's show, first of all, and we'd like you to take a load off, for example, and just share what your interpretation is of a proverb that we normally share. Dennis is going to give us that proverb, and I would like each and every one of you to tell us what you think it means. Is that okay? Let's start off with that.
So our proverb today comes from the country of Tunisia, whose capital is Tunis. Now, a lot of things about Tunisia that we are being told about is its architecture is really amazing because it dates back to the 18th century. But aside from that, it's their souk. Their souk is the market, and their market has talk about the jewelry, the metalworks from that country, talk about their fashion, really, really beautiful. And it is an Arab-speaking nation and has a population of 11.8 million people and some change. And the proverb today says, he who sleeps with frogs becomes a croaker. He who sleeps with frogs becomes a croaker. How would you interpret that?
Asante sana.
Asante Anyango.
Nasaongea Kiswahili.
Yes,
Sawa.
sure.
Asanteni. Kwa majina naitwa Josinter Anyango. Mama yake Kennedy Onyango.
Kabla uande kwa hiyo story ya Nyango, nataka uniambie vile unasikia hiyo inamaanisha nini?
Mwenye anakana.
It's okay.
It's okay.
We just go on. It's okay. We just hold on to that for now. Maybe we can hear from you, Kevin, and Sevelinah first. Okay?
Asante.
Kevin.
Michael.
Michael, sorry.
Yes, Michael, sorry. Yeah.
What do you think about that proverb?
Okay. The proverb, with me, I think it is like something that is happening in our country where the political class don't see us as human beings. Yeah.
Okay.
What about you, Sevelinah?
You said the one who?
He who sleeps with frogs becomes a croaker.
The way I understand it is that there's something called the foundation of something. So if that proverb says that if you deal with a certain, if you sleep with that frog, you'll definitely produce what comes out from that frog.
Indeed.
Yes.
For sure. Well, like I said when we were starting this conversation, it was not going to be an easy one to have, but we're going to have it all the same because it is important for us to bring out some of these issues and to keep them front and center. So, Josinter, tutaanza na wewe.
Asante.
2024, kijana Kelvin Kennedy, alikuwa hapo parliament. Ni nini ilifanyika?
Kennedy hakuwa parliament yeye. Alikuwa ameendea kitabu yake Ongatarongai. Sisi tunaishi Ongatarongai. Alikuwa ameendea kitabu yake, walikuwa wamebreak shule on Friday. Wakapewa kitabu yeye na document yake. So mwingine anasoma, mwingine atakujia baadaye. So walielewana na document yake, yeye aende naye asome ndio achukue baadaye. Hiyo nilikuwa siku yake ya kuendea kitabu. Alinisaidia kasi yenye ilifaa mpaka hiyo masaa ya jioni. Akaniambia akituacha tukipika akasema naendea kitabu. Hiyo harakati ya kuendea kitabu kabla afike juu, hiyo risasi ilimpata karibu na hiyo gate car wash. Kuna car wash hapo, alafu gate iko mbele kidogo na ni mbali kidogo na pali maandamano ilikuwa. Hapo ndiye alipatana na hiyo risasi.
Ilikuwa risasi ya nani? Maskari?
Yeah, ilikuwa ya serikali.
Na walikuwa karibu na nyumba Ongatarongai?
Yeah, ni kama hata walikuwa juu ya buildings. Juu vile iliingia kwake ilikaa ni kama alikuwa juu. Ukiangalia pali mtoto alipigwa, mwenyako juu ya building ndiye anaweza ingiza hiyo risasi vizuri. Na
maandamano ilikuwa inaendelea huko karibu na home hiyo siku, ama ni nini ilikuwa inafanyika wakati Kennedy alipigwa?
Maandamano ilikuwa inaendelea Ongatarongai.
Okay.
Walikuwa hapo mahali inaitwa Clean Self Supermarket. Ken alikuwa na huku na chini side za kwetu. So mimi nilistoka Ken amepigwa risasi, na hata sikujua. Mimi niliona kwa TikTok kuna mwalimu wetu wa church aliniuliza, kuna mtoto nimeona amewawa na watu wamemweka kwa TikTok, ama ni mtoto wako? Na baba alikuwa nyumbani. Baba kumbe aliona TikTok, akaniuliza kama watoto wote wako home. Nikamwambia wako, lakini Kennedy amekimbilia kitabu yake ili Monday akirudi Thursday, Monday akirudi shule kwa yamesoma. Hapo ndiye alipigwa risasi. Nikaona hiyo TikTok kama amebebwa. Kuna mali nimeona akiwa ameslide hivi na wamama wanapiga kelele, huyu mtoto hajadedi, huyu mtoto ni mdogo, mbebeni mpeleke OC. Nikaona msamaria mwema amembeba ako kwa mto bike akiwa naenda hivi, nikaangalia kichwa, nikaona ni mtoto wangu.
Kennedy alikuwa na miaka ngapi?
12. Nikamwona ni mtoto wangu. Kukimbia kabla nifike OC, nikapata mama mwingine anasema, mtoto mdogo hivyo amewawa. Hapo ndio wamekosea, yule mtoto ni mdogo sana. Yule mtoto sidhani kama amefika hata miaka 10, juu ni miaka 12 ambaye ana mwili. Ni mwili kidogo sana. Nikamuuliza, sikuwa nimefika OC, nikamuuliza amevaa aje? Akanieleza, nikaona ni mtoto wangu. Nikasema mtoto wangu aliendea kitabu. Nini tena amepatana na hiyo ni risasi? Na pali ameendea kitabu, hata si pali maandamano iko. Haikuwa rahisi kwangu.
Michael. Yes. On that day, this is what you said. Kennedy was a calm boy and did not participate in the protest that claimed his life. On the day of the shooting, he had just come home from school and had gone out to borrow a book. Here is a question where reports have come that your son has been killed. Then police get in, autopsy has to be done and everything. But we're talking about a year later, engagement with police, answers that you seek. Where are you with that?
Okay, it has not been easy since that incident happened. Even when the postmortem was done, we were not happy with that process.
Why?
Because they done it without the family representative. Yes. So we have tried. We went to IPOA then after, but there is nothing positive. Yeah. Because when we engaged the IPOA, they called us. We went there. We talked to them. But what surprised us, that they were asking us to give evidence that Kennedy was shot by the police. Yeah.
Okay.
So up to this moment, there is nothing much has happened about this case of Kennedy.
When they said give evidence that he had been shot by the police, I mean, you had the evidence. It's tough to talk about, but this was after. Was this when they were asking you to give this evidence? Was it after he had already been buried? Or before Kennedy had been buried?
Before.
So he had not been buried yet when the evidence was being asked for?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would it not have been clear from his body that he had been shot?
The evidence was there,
Okay.
but I don't understand why they said so. Yeah.
So what did you do after they asked you to show this evidence?
Nothing.
Why?
Because our hope was with them. But the way they frustrated us, it's very hard.
What about mama, wale ambao waliona mtoto akishutiwa, witness accounts? I mean, walikuwa hapo, polisi wamefanya nini? Hiyo wakuchukua kama evidence?
Kitu yenye ilifanyika wakati mtoto alikufa hivi, keshoe tukaenda hapo mochari, watu walikuwa, hata James Orengo walikuwa, hata watu wa reporter walikuwa. Ukweli Kennedy Onyango aliuawa na risasi. Wakati wa kufanya postmortem, chenye walifanya wakutuambia tutafute mtu mwenye anaenda kukaa pale wakiwa wanafanya postmortem. Sisi tulienda nikaulizwa ni huyu ndio Kennedy, nikasema ni yes. Kutoka hapo wakaanza postmortem. Baadaye wanakuja nje kutuuliza kama kuna mwenye anaenda. Nikachukua sister yangu kufika akapata already ashaanza kupasuliwa. Akapasuliwa, sister yangu akashindwa, baba akaenda, baba akapata already wamesamaliza wanashona. Baadaye wakatuambia ilionekana ni risasi ukweli, lakini risasi haikupatikana ndani.
Okay.
Walisema risasi iliingia na ikatoka. Okay. Lakini iliharibu sijui ni nini hapa ndio ilileta sasa hiyo, alafu damu ilimwagika sana. So wakati walisema hivyo, wengine wakasema hapana, ni risasi moja ama ni 8? Wakasema ni moja. Mimi nikasema chenye nataka kujua ni risasi, na wamepata ni risasi, sio kisu, sio kitu ingine. So nilijua ni risasi.
Okay.
So wakati walikuwa nataka evidence ni wakati tulienda kuandika statement.
Okay.
Already nilikuwa home. Kennedy Onyango mambo yake ilikuwa mingi, kila mtu aliona. So nilikuwa nafuatilia. Wakati walitisha mambo ya statement, nikatuma dada yangu. Wakasema akaandika statement, mimi pia nikapigiwa simu nikaongea. Wakasema wanataka evidence ama witness. Nikasema evidence ni ile postmortem report niko nayo, walisema ni risasi. Witness ni mtoto wangu yule amelala chini. Hakuna mtu hii Kenya hata wenye walimbeba wako, hata aliongea huyo mras aliongea, lakini haezi akatokelezea hivi aseme. Haisi akatokelezea hivi aseme eti ni mimi nilimbeba juu hii Kenya, anaogopa.
Sevelinah, this is a story of Kennedy and the family that are speaking, but here we also talk in terms of the street families that we have in the country. And the street families that we have know the streets as their bedroom, as their homes. That is all that they do know. And when these demonstrations happen, when Kenyans are killed on these roads, some of them are actually shot in places where these street urchins spend their days every other day. And even them find themselves in these spaces where they are also shot and some even killed during these demonstrations. What's the plight of the street families in this country and their rights as Kenyans?
I'll begin by saying that, by first of all introducing my life, by my own life experience. I'm a Kenyan. That's the only thing I know. The only thing I know is that I am a Kenyan. My mother died in the labor room, giving birth to me. And so I wouldn't say I've been brought up by one particular person. I have been brought up by the nation. So I'm the child of the society. And at some point, life happens, and I found myself in the streets of Nairobi. So all the darkness that is in Nairobi city, I know it by experience, not by reading. I have lived in it. And so when such demonstrations happen and bodies are lying and there is chaos, there is gunshot, there is tear gas, there is all those sorts of manner, like what you saw in Blood Parliament documentary in CNN. I just wonder, does the nation know their children there? okay, we are fighting for the rights of financial bill. It's all right. It's the right. But where did the nation, where did our sense of humanity, where did it go? Because we don't think about the children. We shoot, we kill, we do all kind of manner, we rape them in the streets, and then now we are grown. We are here. I'm here. I'm a woman. What do I do with my life? Now I'm coming here to say that I'm speaking because there are children I left, and people are still being killed. So even if God has blessed me, I'm not here to speak for me. I'm not suffering. I'm okay. But I have wounds. There are children I left there. There are people we were sleeping in the streets. We would hide under the I am a witness of children being raped in the streets watching. There is no security. There is nothing. And then when you look at the leadership, the leaders are fighting up there. So who will fight for the children that are down there?
I want you to paint a picture for me about, or for us really, when demonstrations like this happen, when there are protests in the streets that take over calm. I mean, we can go far back as 2007. What happens from a point of view of those families, those children who are living in the streets with what happens to them? What do you see?
This is what happens. You see the people that snatch you phones and they have daggers and they have everything in town? They are the product of such things. Because if as a street child you are growing, seeing those things in the streets, people being shot, people being killed, when you grow up, what do you expect those people to become in the society? Will they become a pastor? They will continue killing. This is why there is number of killing. And I have come here to ask a nation that this blood that is on the flag, what is its purpose? Why do we have blood in our flag? Is it there for us to shed? Because the foundation of leadership, the foundation of how we acquire president after president, from the first president to the last president, we must kill. We must kill to get power. We must kill to get a president. Why should we be born here to be killed?
These are the questions. So, even as we look at those deaths that took place, deaths in the city happened. And if we tie this to what Michael and Anyango tell us this morning, I want to go back and I want to insist on what happened after you were asking questions about, because I think, yes. And if I'm wrong, please stop me. Munataka kujua nani aliua mtoto na wanafanya nini ndio wapate yo mtu na wamefika wapi? Umeuliza hizo swali?
Okay, nimeuliza sana. Kwanza hiyo wakati mtoto alikufa, niliona rais akikataa Kennedy hajakufa. Niliona kwa TV. Baadaye akakubali kama amekufa atakuja kuniita. Nilikuwa nadhani anaweza chukua nafasi, akona hiyo authority ya kutafuta, ya kupata nani aliua mtoto mdogo kama huyu. Ya kwanza kukua maandamano. Ya pili age yake hata jui bei ya unga ni nini. Yeye anakula akipata kwa meza. Akikosa ni aisuru. Ya tatu wameua ndoto yake. Mtoto wangu alikuwa artist. So nilikuwa nadhani atachukua hatua ya kutafuta immediately vile alikubali kama amekufa atanitafuta. Mimi najua ya number 1 kunitafuta ni kuchukua hii hatua ni nani na nijue ni nani aliua mtoto wangu. Hiyo nilikuwa nadhani atafanya hivyo, hajafanya. Chenye imeniuma tena juzi hapa, nadhani kila mtu ameona MP mwenye aliwawa. Mpaka sasa hivi wasatafuta mwenye amemuua, tena wanaendelea na hiyo, na ni kama atapatikana. Hata tukiona hawatapatikana ni nani amemuua na ni risasi gani ilimpiga. Lakini yule hata ni baba mwenye ameacha familia yake, ndoto yake imefanyika, kila kitu. Kama ni mama yake alimwahidi atamjengea, already mama akona kila kitu. Lakini wangu 12 years ndoto yake wamemuua, hakuna kitu ameniacha na uchungu. Sana mimi kama mama, hakuna kitu imefanyika. Sasa nashangaa hii ni Kenya gani? Mtu mkubwa mwenye akona rank, mwenye akona kila kitu, mwenye ameacha familia yake, wajukuu wake, akiwawa. The same risasi iliua mtoto wangu, ndio risasi imeua huyo. Pia mimi ni mama kama mama ya yule, lakini wamekimbilia haraka, wamefanya kila kitu inawezekana wapate ni nani, na hata ukisikia hata ukiona wanafuatilia kabisa. Tena saa hii inafanya saa hii hata wakosane. Lakini mtoto wangu ilifanya waungane, wakwae pamoja. Kifo ya mtoto wangu haikuwa shida kwao, lakini ya yule imekuwa shida kwao mpaka wanafanya wakosane.
Josinter, wabunge juzi wakiwa bungeni wamezungumza sana, especially after blood parliament was aired. And I'll just quote one who said that people die, watu wanakufa kila siku, and we move on. As a mother, your child was killed. Have you moved on?
Sija move on. Nasikia vibaya. Siwezi hata nikasonga. Kwanza chenye inaniuma, unajua mimi kwangu story yangu ni tofauti sana, kwa sababu huyo kijana ndiye alikuwa active. Nimebaki na wawili na wako na sickle cell. Nabambana na hiyo ugonjwa. So wakati alikuwa hai nikibambana na hiyo ugonjwa, nategemea yeye atakuwa mkubwa, na alikuwa ananifurahisha akiniambia, "Mom, hata kama hawa ni wagonjwa, si ucheke tu, mimi nitakujengea, wataishi maisha mzuri, nitakufanyia hivi na hivi, nitakutoa hii hali huko." Lakini sasa naumia, siwezi nika move on. Alafu naendelea kuona mali pake imefunikwa na hakuna mwenye anaongelelea. Siwezi.
We're going to go to a break in just a minute, but before we do, Michael, what would you want to happen? I can see the tears in your eyes, Michael. It still continues to be painful. What do you need to happen now?
I just want justice for Kennedy. The police who killed Kennedy.
Unaweza ongea Kiswahili ukitaka.
Should be arrested. Tujue ni nani, tupate haki ya Kennedy.
This morning, our guests are Michael Onyango, Josinter Anyango, and Sevelinah, who have joined us this morning. And we look at certain issues that when we did see the documentary that came out about after Blood Parliament, I made the same mistake as well, that we look at these issues and we say that they were compounded to the streets. But the streets are a symbol of the streets around Parliament are a symbol of the things that were happening in other parts of the country where Maandamano was taking place. Because it was not just there. There were many parts of the country where people were standing up and they were talking. And that they were saying this is what they wanted. But here we see a boy who got the bullet and had nothing to do with any of this. But it was one of the after effects of the things that we see today. When you didn't get, wakati watu wa IPOA walikwambia, Michael, ulete evidence, ukasema ulikuwa umechoka na vile walikujibu, alafu ukaamua tu kuzika mtoto wako uendelea na maisha. Lakini nimeona vizuri sana haujaendelea, na ni kama kuna kitu bado unataka ifanyike. But ni kama saa hii kila mtu amenyamaza. Mama amesema saa hii that hawakushughulikia, lakini tunaona vitu zingine zinashughulikiwa. Unasikiaje ukiona vitu kama hizi?
Nasikia vibaya sana, kwa sababu ukiangalia hii maneno vile ilifanyika, na kulingana na vile hawa wabunge waliongea juzi after hiyo blood parliament, waliongea ni kama wao ndio binadamu au wengine walikufa ni wanyama tu, ama walikuwa wanaona wao ndio watoto. Hawa wetu hawakuwa watoto. Juu kama mtu mkubwa hivyo anaweza sema ati watu wanakufa kila siku na maisha inaendelea, ile kidonda haiwezi pona tukisikia hizo maneno wanatamka. Tuko na uchungu sana, na ni kama raia tunakanyagewa kabisa chini. Wakubwa hawataki akitendeke kwa raia, wanaona tu ni kitu simple, ni kitu haina maana. Watu walisawawa, maisha inaendelea, lakini hata wao wako na watoto. Kama ingekuwa mtoto ya mmoja wao, huyo mtu angetafutwa mpaka wapi? Vile tu sasa tunaona vile wanashughulikia hiyo mambo ya huyo mbunge aliwawa, mpaka imeleta shida kati yao watu wa UDA na watu wa ODM. Niliona juzi shida imetokea, wanataka kujua nani alifanya hiyo kitendo na ni kwa nini. Kama wangekuwa wanaweza fanya hivyo hata kwa watu wenye walipata shida kwa hiyo maandamano, tunaweza sema haki imetendeka na tuendelee na maisha yetu. Lakini kama wanaongea mbaya kuhusu hiyo maneno, tunaona tu ni kama hatuna inchi. Inchi ni ya wenyewe.
Okay.
Sisi tuko tu hapo, lakini ni ngumu.
Sevelinah.
Yes.
Every other time there is a conversation about when people go to the streets and demonstrations are happening, streets have become a representation of struggle in the country. And demonstrations aside, there is a daily struggle that we continue to experience in these streets by the street urchins who live there, by the street families who live there. One would hope that perhaps the government would come up with a way of ensuring that those who live in the streets are dignified, that they are taken through rehabilitation, they are taken through a proper system so that they get out of the streets. But that does not seem to be happening. What would you say about the leadership that we have in this country with regard to its most vulnerable in the society?
Let me begin by saying that Kenya is the most noise-making nation in the world that doesn't birth change. We just make noise. We watch such a documentary as a nation, 3 million people, and then we just make noise. We come on live television like this, we just talk and talk. We go on social media, you write, you post, and then what? Then what, Kenya? Then what? For how long? When will it be that as a nation, as one accord, we say, you know what, Kenya, enough. And I have done my investigation. I have come to a conclusion that most of the people that kill our children are men. They are policemen, not police women. You know why? Because men, they don't give birth. I've not seen a man in the labor ward being told to push. So no man knows how to bring a life. So it is the women of the Republic of Kenya that are wailing to God. It is the women, it is our children that are being killed every day. And this is why you see such a documentary, a whole president will wake up and continue with his life as if everything is okay. The nation is sick. This Republic of Kenya, the nation is sick. I saw yesterday a commander-in-chief, a leader of a nation, the father of the nation, is addressing the nation, anatupiwa kiatu. That's tell you the nation is messy. Because what does the president stand for? What is presidents? You know me, I'm a street kid. I know nothing. I just want to understand what is the purpose of Mr. President in my life. What is his purpose? Because we feel we are in a nation, but we are alone. So there is no even an institution government where a street child can just go and take a piece of pad. So we have to sleep with men all over there because periods are here. We have no mother, no father to turn. What is the purpose of a government? A government is there to take care of its people. That's the only reason we have a government. But I feel at this point, Kenya needs to be led by a woman. A woman that knows these are my children. Because when you look at all that look, it is men. Only men, only police officers. Because I don't get it how you stand and aim somebody's son with a gunshot. And then again, I just want the Republic of Kenya to make me understand the purpose of our flag. Why do we have our flag? Because if I am holding the flag of Kenya like this, and you shoot me and I am holding it, just because I have said this financial bill is not working for me, so why shoot me when I'm holding the flag? The nation have even dishonored the God of the nation, because our national anthem says, "O God of all creation." And it is the flag that symbolizes the God of our nation. So after you kill, now this woman is wailing. Who has her son? Is it not God? So why would God bring us here, give us title as Kenyans, for us to be killed by the government? It's enough. It's really enough. Let these leaders be told it's enough. But you know what? It is the foundation of the root. From your first president, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, how many Kenyans did you kill for him to be a president? How many Kenyans did people die for Mr. Moi to be president? It has been for Uhuru Kenyatta to be a president. We must kill. We must kill. We must kill. Why?
Why, Sevelinah? Why do you think that's the case? Because here we are, and the tears are falling. We know those who have been killed. We know those who, till today, they don't know where their children are, rather. That they've been taken. Their mothers, indeed, crying at the hands of agencies. And it's not just in protest, is it? That in other situations whereby the life of people have been taken, Brian Odhiambo is one of them, and we call their names this morning.
Yeah.
Brian Odhiambo is one of them, for whom now just a few days ago people have been arrested because of public outcry. Why is this the case, do you think?
You know
and
why?
What should Kenyans do? The way you cry about this must mean for something. It must stand for something.
You know why? It's because Kenya, you know what? It's our nation. We fight the fights of the dead.
What do you mean?
We fight the fights of Jomo Kenyatta. I'm only 30 years. I didn't find him here. So why would I continue fighting his fights? I didn't find Jaramogi Odinga. So why should I continue fighting this Jaluo Kikuyu? Why? I didn't find them. So Kenya has been fighting the fights of the dead. We are fighting the fights of Jaramogi Oginga, Jomo Kenyatta, President Moi. We are fighting the fights of the dead. And this is why this thing that is called Gen Z. Gen Z means young blood. And it is the blood the nation has been shedding. It is the one that is wailing. Because us that we are alive, the Kenyans that are breathing, we are the one that are left with the burden of the people that are living this nation without accomplishing their dreams, without accomplishing their purpose. Because I believe every person that is born in this nation, you are brought here by God to share something with Kenyans. That's why you are a journalist. That's why you are a doctor. That's why you are a nurse. That's why you are what? So that you can share with the nation what you came with it here. But now, there's no way an economy would thrive because that engineer, that doctor is dead. We killed them.
Mama Josinter, Kennedy was based off the description imetupatia, alikuwa kijana mwenye alikuwa na maono. That has been taken away. But even as we talk about that, there is need for justice. There is need for you to get answers. As we see the tukiangalia venye wanasiasa wanapiga siasa, polisi wanaendelea kufanya vitu vyao. Wewe kama Mama Ken, unataka kuambia nini aipoa polisi na rais?
Asante. Mimi ya kwanza MP wangu ni mama Mili. Governor wangu ni mama Gladys Wanga. Women rep ni mama. Attorney General ni mama. Chief Justice ni mama. Baba hapo ni rais. Mimi yenye ningeomba ya kwanza, naomba sana mtoto wangu apate haki yake. Au ni wa mama, naomba wanielewe na wavae viatu yenye nimevaa saa hii. wajifanye ni hao wenyewe, ingekuwa mtoto yao. Serikali alipromise kama ni huyu mama, ni mama Kennedy huyu mwenye amekufa, nitamuita. Hajaniita na amesahau kabisa. Na nimejaribu kumfikia hata anione tu, akumbuke kama amesahau chenye alisema. Hajai niita. Naomba popote tu mwenye ananisikia ama mwenye ananiona, naomba mtoto wangu apate haki yake. Au wenye nimewataja, naomba waniangalie tafadhali kama mama. Naumia. Ken alikuwa artist, alikuwa na ndoto yake. Alafu nilikuwa namtegemea sana, juu nimebaki na wawili na wako na sickle cell. Napitia lingumu sana. Naomba serikali anisaidie. Ken apate yake, juu hata tangu akufe haisi pumzika, juu nalia kila siku. Hakuna siku sijaitoa machozi, nikitembea, nikikaa, nikilala, lazima nimkumbuke na nilie nikiangalia wengine wamelala, wengine wanaumwa. Naomba justice, naomba Ken apate yake. Naomba huyu mwenye alimuua wamtafute, angalau ni muone ni yeye aliua mtoto wangu. Hata Ben Sudan women rep, yeye ni mama na ni women rep yangu. Yani mimi pali nimetoka Homa Bay County, wote ni wa mama. Tafadhali naomba waniangalie. Mtoto wangu alikuwa na umri kidogo sana, 12 years. Yani hakuenda hata maandamano. Hiyo kitu inaniuma. Naomba tu justice. Angalau mtoto wangu apumzike na hata mimi nipumzike. Naomba sana.
Michael, unaona kama kuna watu wengine kama wewe wanapitia njia pia?
Ni watu wengi wanapitia hii maisha yenye tunapitia. Juu hao watu wote walipoteza familia. Vile tu umesema, kuna wengine bado hata hawajui watoto wako wapi. Na wenye walipata watoto wao wakitupwa huko wakazika, wamejaribu kufuatilia, tukishirikiana na watu wa Haki Afrika, lakini bado hakuna kitu imefanyika.
Sevelinah, what does this say? We are in a place, I mean, it's obviously a very, very painful situation.
Yeah.
And these tears represent the tears of very, very many people who cried today. You know, like we said with Michael, for those who don't know where their children are, those who don't know where their loved ones are, they were taken. We don't know. We've not been able to connect so far. But today we are in a place where folks are talking about what they want for the country in terms of who will be voted for.
Yeah.
Are we misprioritized?
I have a question for the Republic of Kenya at large. Does really the nation knows what it wants? As a nation, as the nation of the Republic of Kenya, of it as whole, does the nation know what it wants? Because I'm here looking at the what 2027 is. You know, you can read the atmosphere, you can see. Okay, so are you still continuing to go the same route? Okay, these people, they have been in the government before I was born. They have been leaders before I was born. Where I live, personally, the road that I walk on, it has been a rough road since I was in class 4. I'm now 30 years. So since I was in class 4, who has been the president? So who was the president when I was in class 4? That road is still like that. The people in that village are always complaining for the government. So they have been electing the same people. Since I was in class 4. Now I'm 30 years. That road is still the same. So it means, as the nation, does the nation know what it wants? Is the nation ready for change? Because this thing it should be uprooted from the root. It's something it is in the root of the leadership of Kenya. It's not something that is here. It is from our forefathers. The killing of leaders, every person that arises and say, you know what, I believe I have something for the nation, you kill them. Saitoti, Tomboya, those people, all of them, you killed them. Have you ever gotten another Saitoti? Have you ever gotten another Dedan Kimathi? If now I've come here and I've said I want to be a leader in this nation, you kill me, will you get another woman like me, Kenya?
There is a lot of pain in the country.
There is a lot of pain in the nation, and that is why the nation will not be productive. It will not be productive because chaos are everywhere. I attended the deputy president meeting in Banana. I went there and I decided to serve as a security. I just wanted to see the leadership on the ground. And so deputy president come with the motorcade. They come, when they were coming in, they come systemically. We sing for them, we welcome the deputy president. They begin that meeting with a word of prayer. After that meeting, those motorcade, they left running on people. They stepped on a citizen on my presence. 3 police officers picked that citizen, threw him behind the bush. I'm thinking, this person has been stepped on by the government, by the motorcades of the deputy president. Why are you throwing him away? And then again, you began the meeting with a prayer. Whom did you pray to? So that you walking on human beings. Kenya, where is the God of our nation?
Michael.
The cry continues to be one thing, and Mama Josinter said it very well, and she'll say it again in a bit. But dear Mr. President, these are the people. These are the Kenyans. These are the ones that you lead over today. These are the ones who are asking for things to happen. A mother is crying for just a short year ago, her son was killed, innocently going to look for a book for school. And there were riots, there were protests going on in the area against a bill that was going to essentially make Kenyans suffer a little bit more than they already were. And they protested against that. And Kennedy died on that day from a bullet that shouldn't have been shot. A man was crying about his 21-year-old son having been killed again at the hands of police just a few days ago. And we saw a man break down and shed tears because of this. Mr. President, Kenyans are crying. Too many Kenyans are crying. Too many tears are being shed. Too much pain in this country today. Dear Mr. President, if there's anything you should do, if there's one thing you should do, it is to end the pain. It is to make it a little bit easier every day for this woman who's lost her son, for that father who is crying, for that mother who cannot find her son, for that wife whose husband died and never came home, for the bodies who've gone unidentified in bodies of water, for those who've been cut up and put in bags. If there's anything that you can do, it is to relieve the pain of your citizens today. This is the picture of the Kenya that you lead. Dear Mr. President, the time to act is now. It was yesterday, but we can do now.
I mean, as we talk about the pain and healing the nation, there is a lot that goes into it. And part of it is just being empathetic and realizing that the citizenry are speaking in one way or the other. We sit in this studio today as listening to Kenyans speaking their heart out. I will talk about Mama Kennedy, Baba Kennedy, and Mwihaki here, pouring their heart out, needing that the government that serves them hears their pain. And this is not just the cry of the 3 individuals or the 5 individuals in the studio, but the cry of millions and millions of Kenyans who continue to ask the tough questions. And the tough questions, rightfully so, to the people who lead this country, because the opportunity has been given again by millions of Kenyans, a donated responsibility, and all that it would take is for the government to hear the cry of its people and act accordingly. It is not enough that a year ago children of this country would die and nothing is done. Instead of the police giving evidence and prosecuting those who are in charge, it is the family that have lost their loved ones being asked to give evidence to prove that indeed their child was shot by the police. I mean, it's about time that we ask the tough questions. We demanded for answers so that those seek these answers get them.
Josinter, wewe unalia leo, but haulii juu ya Kennedy peke yake. Ni kama unalia kuhusu watu wengine ambaye sasa kuna wamama hawajui watoto wao wako wapi. hawajui watafanya nini. Machozi yako si ya Kennedy peke yako ama?
Ni kweli. Kuna wamama hawajapata watoto wao hadi leo. Kuna hadi wamama watoto wao walipatikana Kware. Kuna wamama, yani hata siwezi nikae, mimi nalia juu ya mama wote. Wamama wale wamepoteza watoto wao. Uchungu ni ya mama, inaniuma. Sio Kennedy, sio Rex, sio nani, lakini nalia kuhusu watoto wote. Serikali atuangalie, tupate justice. Angalau tutalia juu ya gapi imebaki, lakini tutaona Kenya, kumbe tuko Kenya na Kenya ni yetu.
Michael, we'll keep on talking about and calling their names, those who died, Kennedy being one of them. And it's because we call for justice to be served. The responsibility of each and every single individual, the government's supposed to secure them. And even as we continue to call for that, hatuwezi tukasema tunaelewa what you're going through, because wewe ndo unaelewa who Ken was to you. And as a country, as the leaders of this country are listening today, you've called for justice. But how soon and faster should that justice be delivered?
Sai tunaelekea 1 year, ni 11 months. Na vile niliona waliharakisha hii maneno ya huyu MP. Hata hii ya watu wenye waliwawa kwa maandamano inafaa ikuwe hivyo. Juu hii after 3 days watu wameshakamatwa, watu 4 si polisi. Lakini hii ya Wakenya wenye walikuwa wanapigania nchi yao ikuwe sawa, kila mtu akuwe na usawa kwa nchi, ajisikie ako kwa nchi yao. Yeye sio refugee. Waliuawa hivyo, wakanyamanzia, hiyo story ikaisha. Wanaendelea kuua watu. Juzi uliona huko Barakoi watu wanapigwa risasi kama wanyama tu, na president amenyamanza tu. Yeye anaendelea tu na shughuli zake, ziara zake za kutembea. Ajali. Sasa sisi tunaomba tu kama wanaweza sikia, wahisi hiyo uchungu wazazi wote wanapitia, kwa mkono ya serikali na mapolisi zao, watufanyie sisi wa Kenya haki haraka vile waliharakisha hii ya MP.
Definitely.
Yes.
Sevelinah, in a few short seconds as we come to the end of this conversation, there's a leadership that's asking to come in after this, trying to get others in, out. What do you think needs to happen? Some have said everybody needs to go, and let's start from the beginning.
I would first of all ask, where do police officers get order from? Because they must be ordered. They can't wake up and go and do such things in the streets. They receive orders. All right? So I believe in my heart, the most weakest department in this nation, the most ugliest and the most weakest department is the police officers. They are very weak. What makes a police officer powerful in Kenya is a gun, tear gas, and uniform and shooting. That one, you have made a police officer powerful. That's why the government of Mr. Ruto is the most weakest government in the whole world. This is a very weak government, because the only thing a police officer can do is to shoot me. Like I said, I speak as like this because there are things I have experienced, I've seen. I have ever been, like I said, since I didn't know my mother or how I came to be, okay? So life became as I grew up, the time that I am now becoming a mother.
Yeah.
I'm in that labor ward now. I'm the one who is being told to push, as my mother was being told to push. When I gave birth, I lost my mind. I said, oh my God, is this how we all come?
Right.
All right? And I lost my mind. And somewhere along the way, that baby, I lost it. I lost the baby. And it's a long story. I was arrested because of that same thing. When I found myself in the hands of the law, and I found myself in the Langata women prison gate, the women that we found ourselves there, they didn't have innerwears. They were raped in the cells by policemen.
There's something to say.
There's something to say about the policemen. The nation is policemen and the president, but the policemen of Kenya are here to serve members of parliament only, not the citizens. This is why they are busy collecting money and not collecting our lives.
There's something to be said for it. We come to the end of a painful hour of discussion, but we'd like to get your numbers. I mean, the support that could come from folks. Just share your number for us as we go, Mama, and also Michael. Share your number for us.
0711 672795.
0711 672795. That'll come to you as well. Thank you for being part of the Situation Room this morning. Sevelinah, your number as well?
0742 523 086.
523 086. Just say that again for us.
0742 523 086.
Thank you very much for that. The question that comes to us even as we ask. Let's share your number as well, Michael.
Okay, mine is 0705 15 52 12.
0705
15 52 12.
Thank you. The question that comes into the minds: who will lead tomorrow? And the answer that comes at the end of this is choose wisely.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.